Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you 5 things never to do when buying a home. Number 1 is go straight to the listing agent. Don't ever go straight to the listing agent. So many people do this because they think they're going to save some money off the price of the home. Maybe the listing agent will credit what would typically have gone to a buyer's agent and give it to the buyers in some way. Number 1, you're putting yourself at risk. You're going into this transaction completely unrepresented. It's just like going to court without an attorney, okay? And the other part of that is it is a huge conflict of interest. The seller has hired this person and paying this realtor to represent them as they go into battle. And if this realtor now has to represent both of you, the only way they can do that, according to Trek, is to now lay down their sword, and they have to only become a paper pusher. They cannot advise you on what to do. They can't give their opinion, and that's ultimately what realtors get paid for. So if a realtor cannot advise you on your transaction, you're just as unprotected as not having one. So make sure that you know when there's a house on the market, that listing agent is trying to get the full 6% commission or whatever it is they listed that house for. They deserve it. Also, if they're representing both sides of the transaction, the buyer and the seller, then they deserve that full commission. They shouldn't be crediting it back to you. So a lot of times when a buyer does this, they think that they're going to save themselves some money, but at the end of the day, they definitely pay for it somewhere. And a lot of times it's after they've closed and they're on down the road and they realize that that listing agent wasn't forthcoming and honest about everything to do with this deal. And now they've gotten themselves in a situation where there's a repair that was hidden and they have to pay for it, or a variety of other reasons. So never contact the listing agent. The second thing is, don't hyper-focus on the negatives. Whenever you're looking for a home, it's very easy to go in, and the first thing everybody does is they get out their notebook and they start writing down everything they can possibly see that's wrong with the house. Especially if you're viewing a house when it's vacant and all you see are white walls and the completely bare floors, and you're just completely hyper-focused on every little speck on the wall or where there's a cracked tile or dirty grout or anything like that. And what you have to understand is you are buying this house to live in it. It's not just to sit there and look pretty on a shelf. You are going to live in it. And chances are, unless it's new construction, somebody else has lived in it too. So you will know when you really truly fall in love with a house, and when you walk through the doors of a home and your vibe really resonates with the vibe and the energy of that house, you're not going to be worried about all the imperfections. You need to focus on what you're going to do while you're living there, the memories you're going to make, what it's going to be like celebrating holidays and having birthdays and cooking for your family and waking up on Sunday morning and relaxing in your home, and all the different things that you do, watching Netflix with your significant other or your kids, or just working on your hobbies. So think about what you're going to be doing in the home as far as living, and stop focusing on nitpicking all the little things. Obviously, there's some red flags that might pop up or repairs that need to be made, and I'm not telling you to ignore those. That's in a different category, but just try to remember not to hyper focus on every little negative thing. The third thing is, never go shopping without getting pre-approved. This is probably the top most number 1 crucial thing that you need to remember. Don't go shopping without getting pre-approved. You need to know what price range you should be looking for. Not to mention, if you go out just for fun shopping and you don't even know if you can buy yet, you're wasting people's time. You're wasting the realtor's time, your time, and the people that you're going to view homes. You're kicking these people out of their house so you can go look at their house, and you're not even qualified to buy or know if you can buy it. So please get pre-approved before going, and a good agent is not going to show you property until you're pre-approved. And this number 3 topic, this also segues right into number 4, and you need to be cognizant of the neighborhood that you're looking to buy in, okay? The taxes and the insurance and the HOA fees, they all get factored into your pre-approval and your monthly payment. So if you've been pre-approved for a $350,000 house, typically that's only with a certain monthly payment up to a certain amount. Your monthly payment is going to cap at some point. So if you're looking at a $350,000 house in a neighborhood that has super high HOA fees and a 4% tax rate, you might not truly be approved for that house because the lender needs you to stay at a 2.5% tax rate. So before you go out and go shopping, you guys need to know this information, and your realtor needs to be aware of it too. New realtors don't always understand tax rates. So if you're working with an inexperienced realtor, and even a seasoned realtor, make sure they know that you need to stay within a certain amount for your monthly budget. Your amount for your pre-approval on total purchase price is very different than your monthly mortgage payment. Those two come into play together, and you need a realtor that understands the whole spectrum so that they're not showing you houses that you find out when you go and put an offer on a house, you've got to back out and you lose your option fee, and maybe even your earnest money is at risk because you didn't realize that all the other fees accompanying that property are going to put you guys outside of your pre-approval limit. And the fifth thing is you never want to look at a house as an investment, okay? There are certain times that, yes, you want to make sure that the house does qualify as an investment. You're going to be looking at cap rate. You're going to be looking at what it's going to appreciate for, possibly. You want to look at the future plans of the neighborhood and what's going to be being built around the area that can add value. Yes, you do want to look at that, but that is not what you want to look at when you are buying the home to live in it for yourself or for your family. If you're buying this to make memories there and to really live there, your kids are going to go to the schools, you're going to have friends over, you're going to be living in this house, you should not be trying to see the house as an investment, because I'm going to tell you, by the time you pay all your HOA fees, taxes, maintenance, if you upgrade anything, if you put in a pool, you do anything along those lines, when you go to sell that house, whether it's in 2 or 3 years or 10 years or 20 years, you start subtracting all the money that you put into that house to live there and occupy the home, as well as take out your realtor commissions and closing costs when you do sell it. If you're breaking even, you should be super fucking excited over that. Okay, so this house is an amenity that you're going to enjoy while you live there. You're not worried about what you're going to make when you sell it in 5 or 10 years. It's the same as with a car. When you buy a car, it depreciates immediately. As soon as you start putting miles on it, you're never going to get what you originally paid for it. You never will. So the same thing with a house. If you can break even when you sell your home, or recoup even a little bit of funds, or even if you lose a little bit, that is just how it goes. And so when you're looking at a house, if you guys find something you love, stop looking to see if in 5 years, what is the house going to be worth? Because guess what? It's technically illegal for a real estate agent to even try to promise you what the value of a home is going to be in the future. We're not even allowed to comment on what the house is going to be worth tomorrow. So if you stop the process to ask your agent, hey, if we buy this, is it going to be worth X amount in 5 years? And they promise you, oh yeah, it'll go up in price in 5 years. I can guarantee you that. If they do that, number one, stop using them. You should probably fire them. And number two, nobody has a crystal ball. We should all know, especially from this past year, that you cannot predict what's going to happen. So yes, it could appreciate. It likely will, but it's not guaranteed. I hope these 5 tips help you in your property search. And if you have any other questions, we would love to help you and be an asset for you while you're searching for your new home. Talk to you later.